Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Cosmic Readings. Hi, Kat. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I've had better days.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I understand.
yeah. So, hey, Kat. So, Kat,
Hey,
Liz,
Kat.
she helped join in while you were absent there for a little while, and
Hi, Kat. Great to see you.
and then we've got hello, Silver Linings, and hello, Miss Free, which is Maria.
Oh, that's Maria. Hi, Maria.
So we're just going to wait a little while for a few more to join. Hey, hello, Rob. Rob's joining from Japan.
Oh, wow. Hi, Rob. I hope you're enjoying Japan. Hey, Kat. Great to see everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Cosmic Readings for the Collective. I'm so happy to be back to join Steve, but I'm just so proud of you that you kept the ball rolling. That was a very intense eclipse season, and I needed to step away to deal with some family stuff and things like that. But yeah, Rob's in Japan. That's awesome. Nice,
So, yeah.
Rob. So while we're waiting to join, for other people to join us, I just want to talk a little bit about the energy, and then we'll dive into Steve's cards and my complimentary cards. We just want to thank everyone for joining us this week for the Cosmic Readings for the Collective. And we are back for November with the consistency of seeing you guys at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday evenings, just to look at the collective energies. There's obviously a lot going on in the world and in different dimensions. The veil is extremely thin right now. We did just have October 31st. We had Samhain. We had Halloween, the Day of the Dead. So this is the time where we're really nesting into the chrysalis, into the cocoon of Scorpio season. And so this is the darkest time of the year where we are really descending into the shadow work that is necessary for us to transform. And so we've just come off a very intense month. I would say October was astrologically the most intense month of 2023. We had some serious eclipses and a full moon in Taurus, partial lunar eclipse, and previous to that, we had that solar eclipse as well. So these eclipses, wow, again, it's not necessarily negative, but eclipse season is very intense. And I've seen in friends, in colleagues, in clients that, and in my own life in different ways, that if we can ride the waves of the eclipse season, Steve, the transformation can be unbelievable and we can access higher frequencies, different dimensions, higher timelines, like all these exciting things. However, there's the other side. We can sometimes drown in the
Yep.
intensity of Scorpio season, the veil thinning. Like there's been a lot of, hey Jason, there's been a lot of different variables happening at the same time astrologically and also in terms of the veil being thin. So this is the time for us to sit with our ancestors who love us, to seek guidance. Hi Adam, honey. This is a time for us to really sit with our darkness, and a lot of healers and guides and readers talk about, obviously the light, the soul, our divinity, all these things, our higher self, of course, but we have to sit with the darkness in Scorpio season to really realize, how are we self-sabotaging? What are our limiting beliefs that are potentially still operating? Is there some emotional trauma that needs attention, that it still sometimes slides in, even if it's from childhood and it's really ancient? So Scorpio season is helping us to dive deep into the waters of Scorpio to do that deep rooted shadow work. So shadow work is, we've got to sit with our darkness. We can't ignore it. We can't ignore our shadow work. The shadow work is sitting and looking at, where is a self-saboteur coming in, that inner critic, that inner saboteur. How is it potentially disarming us? How is it potentially pulling the rug out from underneath us? And how can we do that deep-rooted healing that is really necessary? Adam, I'm not going to talk about November 27th in this live, but I will talk about it coming up. But yes, there's a lot of awakenings that are happening, absolutely, Kat, and a lot of higher frequencies that are coming down. But again, it's kicking up this major dust energetically, cosmically, in the macrocosm, in the microcosm. We're seeing it being reverberated galactically as well, that we are most certainly awakening. It doesn't feel like that. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Awakening, this notion of awakening, it can be dark, it can be messy, and we've got to face certain aspects if we're going to transform and make different choices. So I don't want to go too far into November. I'd rather really look, and we will each week, we're going to go deeper into the astrology, but there are a lot of different Earth timelines that are happening right now, a lot of different dimensions that are colliding, and different timelines that are available to us. So this is a very powerful and potent time of change, but it is going to take sacrifice. Steve, I want to hear from you. How have you been feeling the energies of like the intense eclipse season and now moving more into the shadow and the darkness of Scorpio?
Very drained. I'm going to put it that way. So my energy level has been pretty low as of late. I just want to like crawl into bed and stay into bed there for like a week.
Yes.
And not come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, the hermit card is really what I need right now. So yeah, my energy levels have been low, and I've noticed a lot of other people around. It's either you've got a lot of passion going, or it's the opposite, like you mentioned, right? It's that wave, or it's like very low. So it depends where you're riding on. And I think that, you know, you mentioned a whole bunch of things, but like the world events is one of those things right now that is taking, you know, center stage. And my reading this week really reflects that. It was just, I pulled the cards and I'm like, oh geez, I can't even believe that these are coming out. Yeah, even Lynn said her energy is very low.
Saying.
So,
and hi, Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. So nice to see you.
There's a
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a whole bunch of people that joined as well, and I saw their names go up, but I couldn't catch it. So hello to everybody else that we didn't give a shout out to. Yeah, I just want to break.
Yeah, I think exactly what Steve is saying is it seems like getting through October, the eclipse season, and then Samhain and the Day of the Dead, like we've arrived on the other side of this, and now we've got to integrate, we've got to do deep-rooted healing and shadow work. Hi, honey. Hi, beautiful. And we have to really take time out to make different choices. And again, it is that thing where if we don't make these changes, we're just going to see, we're not going to see the results. We're not going to see the results that we want to see in different aspects of our life. But man, October kicked the dust up. Whether we liked it or not, it brought things to the surface that we really needed to look at. And I think it's been building for a long time. And yeah, and Rebecca's saying the shadow sides are revealing themselves, and this is our breakthrough. I agree, Rebecca. I think that's a very good point. Is this can be, and this is a very important thing, this can be a breakthrough if we decide it's going to be a breakthrough for us, and if we start to make some serious changes. And for some of us, that may be, yeah, the veil has dropped, Adam is saying. There's no veil. There's no veil. So yeah, this is our opportunity, what Rebecca is talking about. Thank you, Rebecca. This is the opportunity for us to make some serious changes in our lives, and we will be rewarded, and we will see the fruits of our labor come back to us in spades. But if we dig our heels in and we don't make these changes, we're going to make things very difficult for ourselves, and things will implode, or things that we've been procrastinating on or putting off, they will really kind of whack us across the face if we don't really address things head on. So Scorpio season's no joke. I mean, this is death and rebirth, guys. This is a very powerful card in the 78 cards of the tarot. This is the death card. This is Scorpio. This is transformation. And it's messy and it's dark. And sometimes we're going to feel like we're not seen or understood or heard. We need that solitude. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to pass it over to Steve. I want to hear about your cards and what you're tapping into for the collective energies this week.
All right. So I'm using the Anna K Tarot, and I kind of just chose this because, it kind of reminds me of fall. There's a lot of browns and yellows and so on. So I think it's the perfect deck
I
for
love
this
it.
year. All right, so let's start off. So 3 cards came out this week. Usually I take a long time to shuffle. So you know the way I shuffle, and things take a while for a card to come out.
Yeah.
Not this week. They just flew out. So my first card here this week is Justice, but it's in the reverse position. So let's talk about it for a second in the upright position. So Justice, you can see the scales. It's basically the sign of Libra. And you can see the piano keys at the bottom there. There's black and white, white and black, black and white. You've got the 2 pillars here, black and white. It's all about balance, okay? And Justice, let me try to bring it closer. You can see that there's a book there and the sword. And it's really, you can use that sword when it's needed to provide justice. It's also about seeking truth.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, in this card, I noticed something different than the regular tarot deck, the RWS tarot deck. The curtain here at the back is open, where in the regular deck, it's not. Okay, so that to me is where my reading came out for the world events right now.
Yeah.
So, it being in the upright position, okay, it's basically the opposite. So it stands for injustice, unfair. There's a loss of balance going on right now in the general collective. And it's very obvious. I mean, all you have to do is flip on the news and you can see what's going on. And the other thing, again, I want to mention that curtain. So that curtain is open. To me, that veil is opening. We're starting to see things that we haven't seen before. And I think the global collective here is on that boat. We're not all there. We're getting there. Okay, so really the veil is opening and truth is coming out. Okay.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. The second...
That light is just coming right in. It's like, oh.
Yeah. All right. The second card here is the Knight of, well, here it says Rods, but it's the Knight of Wands, okay? So the Knight of Wands is someone who has a lot of energy, they're creative, they're passionate, and, typically the knight is on a horse, and the horse it's kind of propped up. It's getting ready to kind of pounce in a way, even though it's not a cat, but that's what it looks like. This person is also loyal and adventurous. Okay, so this card really is saying if you look at the news and stuff like that, there's a lot of global protests going on right now. And hello, Misty. And I think this card is very reflective of that because it's almost like a rebellion is going on. And, people are using that passion and that creativity to get together and speak out. Right? And then the last one was the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. So in the upright position, again, the queen, she's sitting on her throne typically. She's in the divine feminine energy. She's about truth. Swords is an air card, so it's also about intellect. So she's very smart. She's very witty. Okay. In the reversed position, okay, we have the kind of like the opposite. So somebody who's very dismissive, somebody who's a critical thinker, somebody that might be arrogant, they might argue a lot. And, this is, for lack of better words, this is somebody that can become very bitchy. Okay. We all know that.
Yep.
So, for the general collective, to me, this is really all about the other side of the global population that isn't awake yet. And they're becoming very critical on the other people that are at this stage.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a little bit of a clash going on right here. And like I said, the very beginning card is that veil, right? It's opening for some, but because it's in the reverse position, it may not be opening for all. So I think, this week, really, I can't say lay low or go on full force. It really depends where you're sitting. Okay.
Yeah,
But just know that the veil is being lifted, and we're starting to see more and more of that happening globally.
absolutely.
So, what do you think?
Excellent reading, Steve. I want to say hi to Mel and Melissa. Thank you for joining us as well. Two of my favorites there. So this is, yeah, the veil is opening. That's such a powerful justice card. And like you touched
Yeah.
on, the light is being revealed. And right now it's a very dark time on the planet. So it doesn't seem like that. Yeah, Kat saying take what you're seeing with the news,
Yeah.
what you're seeing on the news with a grain of salt. Here's the thing about the news, and this is what I want to say, is we want to be informed, we want to know what's going on, and not just about some of the dominant conflicts happening, but in general. But we don't want it to swallow us. And I've seen a lot of people get carried away, and it's easy to because it's real and it is happening. But we don't want the news to overtake us, and we all know spiritually and energetically what we focus on expands. So it's that fine balance that Justice is saying here in Steve's reading, that a lot of people are feeling imbalanced because it's overwhelming, it's disheartening, it's heartbreaking, it's traumatic, it's triggering, and it's triggering people's past trauma, it's triggering ancestral trauma, it's triggering a lot of different things for different people from different perspectives. And we don't want to get locked into any one perspective, and that's very easy to do, and it's very human for us to do. And yes, Melissa speaking about watching the news and it being morning, noon, and night, and it being repetitive and negative.
Yeah.
I completely agree, Melissa. And so the thing is, it's a fine balance that we want to strike in Scorpio season. Steve's cards bang on that justice, that people are not feeling balanced. Some people are descending too much into the darkness of that card, but that light is going to be revealed. We have to believe that that light is being revealed and that the truth is being revealed. What can we do? And yes, polarizing more than anything else, very good word. Rebecca's mentioning this, and it is very polarizing. And so we've got to walk that fine line with justice. We've got to speak our truth and also be discerning about which battles we want to fight energetically, verbally, culturally, politically, religiously, which dialogues are worth getting involved in, and sometimes it is worth to stand up. And when do we feel that it potentially is a waste of our energy or a distraction away from our purpose? So there's a fine balance here between being informed, not being swallowed up by some of the global negativity and political events. That is very challenging for some people more than others, obviously, depending on lineage, bloodlines, families, all kinds of things. But this is the time with that justice that we've got to guard our truth, and we have to protect our inner peace with justice, or we're going to be off kilter. And then that's when we are low vibrational, and that's when we're susceptible to health issues or susceptible to feeling drained and depleted. So this is a balancing act, Steve.
Yep.
Your cards are bang on. And that center card, the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Rods, is like, it's the perfect card for what's going on in the global sense, that people are charging forward, that people are taking a stand, that people are fighting. And we have to remember, like, some things are worth fighting for, but at the end of the day, with some of these historical conflicts, we've got to go deeper beyond the back and forth, because how long will it continue? For how many more generations are we going to affect and continue to traumatize? So this central card is, again, a card of action, rebellion, sometimes force, battle. Very bang on in terms of the global cards. And your third card, Steve, if you don't mind holding it up.
Yep.
Your third card is that Queen of Swords, and she's upside down. So what is she saying? And I love her. It's almost like Snow White, right? It's like, this is that polarizing time that Rebecca is speaking about, where sometimes our truth, we feel emotionally isolated, or we feel like it's not safe for us to speak our truth on certain matters or in certain circles. We don't feel safe to speak our truth, or we don't feel comfortable to speak our truth in family or around certain people or at work or whatever, in different circles. And sometimes we might be over speaking our truth and wasting our energy and wasting our throat chakra in the wrong arenas and the wrong venues. So this Queen of Swords, she's saying, make sure that you protect your peace. And yes, truth being twisted, right? Like deception is afoot when the Queen of Swords is upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different perspectives. There's conflicting information. There's all kinds of different perceptions going on. So for me, Steve's cards are bang on for this week, especially in the collective consciousness, globally, politically, culturally, cross-culturally. You're really tapping into, again, the tree of the generational trauma. And we're talking about the shadow side on the global stage of we all have to be accountable. We don't get to close our door and say, this doesn't apply to me. It doesn't work like that. We all have to be accountable. We all have to be part of the healing of this world. And we're going to have to face that shadow head on in order to reveal that light that Justice in Reverse card is indicating in Steve's reading. So bang on, very powerful reading coming from Steve. My cards are almost more taking it to the microcosm, and Steve is more of the macrocosm. So mine is, okay, in our day-to-day life, how can we break down the energy of this week? What can we do with it? And I have the High Priestess to start us off. I'm using the Klimt deck this week, guys. Such a beautiful deck. Again, a lot of golden brown. Steve and I chose our decks separately. We didn't even compare notes. So both of us were going for the golden brown kind of energies, revealing the light, revealing the gold, revealing the divinity, and finding the light in the darkness collectively and also in our individual lives through this dark time of Scorpio season, death and rebirth. So the first card that flew out of the deck was the High Priestess. And this High Priestess, I love her because she's almost like this crone energy, and she's holding a book. This is a time where for us to do that deep-rooted healing that needs to take place, we have to take time out in solitude. So we need to say no to people, places, things, invitations, opportunities that don't resonate. We have to start to invest in ourselves, in our healing, our meditation, our salt baths, our spiritual practices, prayer, lighting a candle, not just for ourselves, but for what is going on collectively. Even small things matter, and they do reverberate in the collective consciousness. So never underestimate your power as one individual. This card is saying that we're going to take time out for our own healing and our own growth. This is a time to expand our knowledge, skills, ability, and wisdom, and to do some deep-rooted whatever needs to be happening here, some deep-rooted alignment with the divine feminine power, and calling in the goddess, calling in Mother Earth, calling in our ancestors who love us for reinforcements, and our higher guides and ascended masters. So the High Priestess is going to help us to do that. And again, this is the time that we need to be reading, working on courses, challenging ourselves to see things in new ways, and informing ourselves spiritually, filling our cup in a way that is nourishing us, because it's so easy to be carried away by that wave that we've talked about, that darker wave of consciousness right now that is hitting the planet in very, very powerful waves. So the High Priestess is coming here to guide us up into our higher chakras of the crown, the causal, the soul star, and the stellar gateway, that we've got to start to go higher to access our divinity. And then that is moving into the Ace of Pentacles. And this is a very powerful card in this deck, which is we're finding our wings, right? We're finding our wings, we're finding our divinity, we're aligning with our higher self, we're seeing things from a higher perspective. That's going to help us with that Queen of Swords in reverse, that we've got to get to the truth. And this is such a powerful Ace of Pentacles, is saying slow everything down, right? The Ace of Pentacles came out with the High Priestess, which is saying, you know, this is a time that we need to slow everything down and do what we need to do for ourselves in solitude, for introspection, contemplation, for deep, deep reflection and healing to take place, or we're just simply not going to transform. But if we do that, if we slow everything down and we put ourselves first with that High Priestess, then we are going to find that coin. We are going to find a new opportunity. It could be in business, it could be career, it could be something new that you want to create. But we have to take that time out with the high priestess, and then we'll be inspired. And it could be a raise in your job. It could be a new job opportunity that you become aware of. It could be, again, divine inspiration of a different path that you didn't know that was available to you, and it becomes available to you. And then the third card that I got for the cosmic readings for the collective was the Lovers, which is the kiss, the very famous painting here. And so choices have to be made in order for us to really tap into these higher levels of consciousness, understandings of crossing thresholds into different dimensions, accessing that higher self, merging with our divinity and our higher self in more of a permanent way is very powerful right now, because we've got this more master consciousness that is available to us. There's this higher self that is available to us, but yet at the same time, the judgment is right there pulling us down. The judgment of ourselves, other people, different cultures, different religions, the judgment is right there just ready to drag us out of our mastery and drag us down into lower vibrations. So this is very much an energy of being tested globally and being tested in our personal lives, where, you know, we can go high when we're feeling low in those lower vibrations. We can go high, or we can really sink down. And so the Lovers is here to help us to make, with this energy of Gemini and the twins, is helping us to make this energy of what does paradise on earth look like to me in my vortex? How can I create this inner sanctuary? How can I do this in my own home? When all this chaos is going on externally and things that I can't control, am I going to be judging other people and falling like snakes and ladders, falling into the lower vibrational, again, patterns, habits, or energies and lower dimensions? Or can I make higher choices, and that's going to fuel more of whatever you want to call it, Christ consciousness or mastery, or these really higher levels of tapping into our divinity. So the cards for this week that I have, again, is the High Priestess, followed by that Ace of Pentacles, and the last card being the Lovers. And the Lovers is here to help us to create that paradise on earth that's going to look different for each and every one of us. Yeah, interesting major cards pulls for this week. Thanks, Kat. Steve, how do you feel about my cards?
Okay, I love that deck. I don't remember ever seeing it before, but I love the imagery and I love the colors. And the colors, for some reason, for me, are speaking out this week. Because typically, I'm very much about the card and the meanings and maybe some intuitive hits, but I don't know why, but the colors are kind of coming out. So your first card there, I was making notes while you were talking, Liz, because it was just, if I don't make them, I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
So the High Priestess, to me, she's really, like you mentioned, she's about structure. She's about learning. She's got the book, like you mentioned. And to me, it's also about spiritual practices, okay? Because it's not structure in religion necessarily. It's a lot of spiritual things. And yes, this is a major arcana card, which Kat was mentioning. We pulled 3 in total out of 6 cards, which is very rare.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm also looking at the color there. So I'm looking at, most of the card is muted. So you either have white, black, or gray. And then what really pops out is the brown.
Yeah.
Which leads me to your next card, which is your Ace of Pentacles, right? So Pentacles is really, it's an earth symbol. It's an earth element. And so I'm looking at the brown from the High Priestess and the earth element from this card, which to me is telling me, you know what? And it's saying what Liz said. We need to retract a little bit. We need to ground ourselves. We need to recoup, because a lot of us, our energies are gone. They've been destroyed because we've been using a lot of our energies to keep up with things that are going on. Okay. And that one is signifying something new, right? So once you're able to ground yourself, you've got that new energy coming out in the form of exactly what Liz said. So it could be business, it could be raise, career, work oriented. Okay. And then we move on to the third card, which is another major arcana card. And by the way, the major arcana cards for people, watching, those are things you're going to feel. You can't miss them. They're like a slap across the face.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got the Lovers. So you're going from like a new beginning, a new start to the Lovers. So you may end up finding, your career or path that you really enjoy doing. So it's like that energy is coming up again. But first, we have to recoup. It's very important that we take that time out, do that self-care that we need to do, whether it be a salt bath or sleeping or meditating, anything of that nature, grounding ourselves and coming back up. So it's like you said at the beginning, it's a wave. Same with my cards. It's going up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
So we need to, don't fight it, follow it, but make it work to your advantage.
Absolutely, Steve. Good points. And yeah, Rebecca is sharing. She's liking the idea of elevating our image, our personal paradise with the here and now, making paradise in our current life. I couldn't agree more. And that's the trick. It's like, the kiss is not ignoring what's going on. It's we have to cultivate our own inner Eden, because there's some things externally we can help. There's certain things that we can't, that are in our power,
Yeah.
but there are some things that are out of our power. And so what can we control is how we cultivate our inner peace, our inner world, our inner paradise, our sanctuary, our home lives, how we decorate our surroundings, how we dress ourselves, the colors we wear that we're attracted to, all of these things. And it most certainly, definitely agreeing with Kat here, is that this is most definitely, we're in the collective cocoon of the Death card. This is 100% a spiritual and energetic reset for the cosmic readings for the collective, but on such a global scale and even an intergalactic scale. But what's interesting is when we start off with the High Priestess, there's not as much gold like Steve is tapping into. It's more muted, and it's like that center. It's like, is this time for you to write your book? Is this time for you to find your voice with that Queen of Swords in reverse with Steve? Is this time for you to speak your truth? Is this time to do your journaling, to ignite your passion, to pick up your pen and start to write how you feel, to help you with this reset, to help you to face your shadow, and also to see, what can be revealed. It's not just about expansion of our knowledge, it's about tapping into our spiritual gifts. But what's interesting is then when we move forward to that ace, it's like finding the wings. It's almost like Isis here.
Yeah.
And we're starting to find our wings. We're starting to find that alignment, which people so desperately need right now, because we are drained after eclipse season and that full moon partial lunar eclipse that was in Taurus. And then moving towards the Lovers here, all of this light is all of a sudden revealed. So the cards are revealing more light as we move through this week. If we make the right choices with the Lovers, we are going to reveal more light in our lives. We're going to tap into our mastery, and we're going to find the way out of the dark. And it's going to be slow and steady wins the race with that Ace of Pentacles. We're not rushing the process. We're actually slowing things down to speed things up. So we've spent a little bit more time today with the cosmic readings, but that's because I think it was a very intense reading and a very complex reading with my cards and with Steve's cards for everybody. And we've both done individual reels as well about the energies, if you want to check out our pages. But this is a week that we've got to follow our own light and our own unique paths and focus on whatever it is that we want to expand. That's where we're going to harness our energy. And don't fall too dangerously into distractions, because man, is that easy to do.
Yeah.
We're all human. So not to beat ourselves up, but to be gentle with ourselves this week. It's an intense time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Steve, to talk about the crystal of the week for everyone to help us through riding the waves of these energies.
Yeah. So the crystal that I got for this week, again, this is just something when I was doing my reading here, my poll, it came to me for some reason. So I've got Lemurian quartz here, and it looks like clear quartz, but it's a little different. It's got different energies. So this year's got a very loving energy. It can help bring inner peace. I use this as part of my healing practice when I clear people's chakras. It's a very good crystal to help clear any kind of stagnant or even dark energies. And it also, the other thing, I mean, we can talk about the ridges in here, which is really, they say messages and so on, but we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah.
But it helps to, this is also about awakening. So, and I think that it fits perfectly for this week because, you know, my cards were talking about awakening, and I know this card, this crystal also fits with Liz's reading, and I'll let her talk about that. So yes, don't forget awakening. It's about, you know, intuition. Your intuition's coming out. You're getting that gut feeling, and you need to trust it, right? Yeah. So what you're hearing from, you know, all different sorts of things, I always say there's like extreme on the right, extreme on the left, and the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Right? So just remember that, and this is going to help filter that out.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
beautiful.
Over to you.
Yeah, and I have my Lemurian wand. This is a Lemurian quartz crystal wand. I've had this for a long time in my collection. Very powerful for doing etheric surgery and for aligning the chakras, bringing down more light into the person's etheric body, into the aura. So this is a very powerful wand that I have. And again, I've had this for a very long time. And Steve talked about this is a crystal of very deep-rooted healing. It carries a lot of codes in it through the ridges, and when you meditate, and even when you just feel them when you're meditating, or even if you're just watching TV, you can hold a piece like this, and you can do that, and you will, you can actually run your fingers over certain parts of the crystal, and you will receive downloads, and you will receive energetic upgrades, and you will also really be tapping into higher frequencies. This is a crystal that I've worked with for a number of years, and it will be in my life forever. It's really close to me. Even if they're small, they're powerful. The one that Steve has is very powerful, and this one is as well. But when the Lemurian wand finds you, you find it, it finds you, you find each other, like any crystal. But the Lemurian is, it's got a lot of stories and wisdom. It's a wisdom keeper, and it will help us to remember who we really are and access realms that will really help us to connect in with our mastery and to heal ourselves, each other, and the world. And very, very, very practically as well. It's not just nice sounding. It actually is used in a lot of healing work that I do. Yeah, Pat is saying she can feel the echoes from those crystals from here. Yeah, these ones they're really powerful. So this is going to help us with our awakening. This is going to help us to heal ourselves and others, help each other in community, and it's going to help us to start to unearth our own power and information that is seemingly lost. Yay, yeah, Melissa has hers, amazing. It's going to help us when we feel lost. Sometimes we forget about a crystal or we neglect a crystal, but then we're like, oh yeah, that one, I haven't picked it up in a while. This would be a great week if you're feeling depleted, like we've been talking about, drained. Pick up your Lemurian wand, and even if you're doing a light meditation or before you go to sleep, even when you're reading, hold this. It's going to help us to tap into that high priestess energy. Perfect crystal for this week. Thanks, Steve.
No problem.
I'm glad we picked this one.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And on to the last part of our live tonight, which is about pulling one card from Liz, one card from me, and giving some lucky viewer a free reading. So all you have to do is comment, yes, I want one, anything like that, and we will do a free reading for you.
Yeah, Melissa has hers, and she's saying that all the crystals are saying hi to each other, and it's true. The Lemurian quartz crystals speak to each other. Like I've seen it. It's all crystals do, but the Lemurian quartz, when you see them actually activate, wow, they really do connect with one another, sharing information as well. Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca, we're going to pull a card for you.
Right.
Let's see what's coming out for Rebecca.
And Liz, I remember picking up your Lemurian quartz there, and it just gave me goosebumps. I remember that.
Yeah, it's a real powerful one. You can see the rainbow through it. You can see little angel wings in there. It can really help you to tap into those higher chakras and higher realms. And it will teach me for the rest of my life. I mean, like all crystals do, but the Lemurian wands are very, very transformational. So let's see what's coming out for Rebecca.
Oh, interesting. I got 2 cards that came out.
Okay, Steve, you go first because I'm still shuffling for her.
Yeah. Interesting, very interesting. So the 2 cards that came out, they're both aces. So very interesting. The first one out is the Ace of Pentacles, and then we've got the Ace of Wands. So here you're looking at a lot of creativity involved in the workplace. So I'm not exactly sure what you do, Rebecca. I know probably Liz does, but it's very possible that your career or your job or anything that you're doing, it involves a lot of creativity. And these are things that are on the new front. So I'm not sure if you got something new going on, maybe a new project, a new job, but it really involves the beginning of something that's showing, you know, a lot of passion and money, career. So what do you got?
Amazing. Well, I love your cards because I think that this is just a new entry point that is being shown to Rebecca. She is incredible. So she is a teacher, but she's also a very talented writer. She's a mental health advocate. And she also has her own business where she teaches other entrepreneurs how to shine. She's also an award-winning speaker. So when I see a double ace, it's like there's all these gifts coming for you right now, Rebecca, because it's like the hand of the creator coming out of the cloud with these 2 aces to reset you on a path that is on a higher timeline. So your hard work is paying off, and these new entry points are becoming available through Steve's reading. And then what I got for you, just to give you a different layer, is the 7 of Swords. And so I think this is interesting because it's saying for you to access those cards, remember that it's the hand of God with Steve's cards, or the hand of the creator coming out to give you gifts, meaning a fresh new start, a new perspective, more money, a clear pathway forward, more opportunities, more networking, better clients, new ideas. Like all these things are coming to you, and all you have to do with Steve's cards is open and receive them. It's right there, and it's all coming to you like a waterfall, and it's on the horizon, and it's about to come in. And so my card is saying, open up to Steve's reading. 2 aces is like a double gift from the creator that you deserve and that you have worked towards. But the 7 of Swords is this trickery, energy around you, energy of distractions that we talked about in the general reading for the cosmic readings of the collective. When we're pulled off our path of creation of those aces. We're pulled off the path by a friend that needs to talk, or a family member, or neediness of somebody else, that they're thieving your energy or stealing your energy. So the 7 is saying this is your time to have firm, healthy boundaries and to cut away negative patterns or people where you're over giving and they're receiving and you're not receiving enough, and there's not enough balance and reciprocity in the relationship. So the 7 is saying, don't let anyone distract you from these aces. Don't let anyone pull you off your path. Don't let anyone really suck any of your energy like those energetic vampires, because there could be potentially some deception afoot. This is your time to receive, and this is your time to create. And if we're going to create from a place of vibrant energy, then we've got to use those swords to cut away any kind of energy drainage or blockage in our lives, or a draining person, family member, to boundary that time, to boundary what we can to protect your energy. So Yeah, she's saying
So
I get doubts from others on my path as well.
yeah,
And absolutely, this is bang on. That other people, right? The seven can be deception. It can be negative energy that people are either having conversations behind your back. It can also be that they tell you straight to you when people doubt you or undermine your power and your potential. Be clear about any of the people that place those doubts or that negativity, or they trying to cast that on you. A lot of this is unconscious and unintentional, but it's not energy that we want around you, Rebecca. So you build those healthy walls and those healthy boundaries, and you just lean into these amazing top cards that are coming in for you because your blessings are coming in, and you deserve this. And we're using the seven to cut away any of the blockages, deceit, jealousy, any of that energy that we're like, nope, we don't need any of that around you. This is your time to receive.
yeah,
So that reading is for Rebecca. She deserves this.
100%. So I see Kat said something that, echoes both of what we're saying. So maybe some
Yes.
jealousy around her success
Mm-hmm.
to watch out. And
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, Liz, when you pulled up the Seven of Swords there, really it is about, you kind of want to set those boundaries. So Rebecca, I think you said there's people around you that are doubting things or so on. Set those boundaries and let those people stay behind that wall, and you focus on yourself and you focus on everything that you're doing. You seem really busy, but like once you're able to do that, put that wall up and these will come out of nowhere. So I think, stay on the course that you're doing, but just protect yourself.
Hi, my cats come into the reading, which often Neptune comes in at the end of Rebecca's reading. So this is just like really funny. All of a sudden he just like popped up here. Um, they are great cards. Thank you, Melissa. And Melissa's point
You.
as well was our paths are for ourselves, and we don't have to tell everyone everything. And also, she made another point about family can often doubt us or cast doubt. And again, they don't mean to. So Melissa's points are bang on. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes we have to hold our cards close to our chest when we're in that ace, those two aces energy of Steve's for Rebecca. Sometimes when we're creating, it's like, don't tell people your plans for what you're doing. Like, just do it for yourself. It's your path for you and you alone. And you can reveal things later on down the line. Making moves in silence is key. Melissa's bang on there, right? Saying it like that. Like, if we make moves in silence, that creation is for us and for us alone. Then we can reveal it if and when that comes up, and we can cross that bridge when we come to it. So Rebecca, you deserve everything and more, and you're going to receive it. And we're cutting away any blocks this week. I think that this reading for Rebecca can really apply to a lot of people.
100%. We all need some barriers in our lives.
Absolutely. I want to thank each
Um,
and every one of you for joining us for the Cosmic Readings with the Collective. I'm so honored to be here with you, Steve. And each and every one of you, thank you for sharing your opinions, your wisdom as we create the sacred community and share space. We really value this time that we come together.
yeah, and I just want to say, I want to thank everybody for the, the comments, the participation in what we were doing tonight. I love that, because you know what? It really shows that we're resonating with people, and you all have something to say as well, and we welcome it.
Yes.
So keep that up. Yeah.
Yes. And thank you, Rebecca. We were honored to read for you. Again, thank you all for joining us for the Cosmic Readings with the Collective. We'll be here next Monday at 9. And Steve and myself, we both offer energy work and private tarot readings, sound healing, coaching, things of that nature. If you're interested, you can always shoot either of us a DM. We're both here to support each and every one of you. If you need any guidance, we're here. We're here every step of the way.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great week. Bye, Rebecca.
Bye.
Bye, Rob. Bye, everybody.
Bye.